Hey there, it's Carrie Rhodes here. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's paper crafting video, I am playing with a brand new die set called the Ultimate Snowglobe Shaker die set, designed by my friend Lynn of LV Handcrafted for the Not Too Shabby shop. I love shaker cards, so I was super excited to play with this and make a really fun shaker that also lights up. So this is a double interactive card. Here is that die set, the Ultimate Snowglobe Shaker, and you can see all the fun pieces in this set. You've got two different size circles you can make with really four different circle dies. You've got two different bases, but you don't have to limit it to just a snow globe. You can also make this into an ornament. And there is a little nameplate you can stamp a word in, and there's a coordinating stamp set that you can do that with. And there's elements to build a scene in there. The house with the tree, a snowflake, a reindeer, a snowman, and a snowy hill. So lots of fun right here. And Lynn has a bunch of inspiration on her channel, so you can go over there and check that out. And if you want to find it, there's a playlist for a hop in the description box below. It's all inspiration with this die set. So the Not Too Shabby shop also sent me some paper and ephemera to use. This is the Cozy Christmas paper pad. I'm not sure when it's actually available, but it came with this die set for me to use and share inspiration, so I'm going to use it on today's project. So you can see here the dies up close. These circles are separate, they're not rings, so you can use them together or independently, which I really love. And then we're going to use the biggest one for my card today, and I am creating a ring, and then I will save the circle, but you could also use that to cut out the other ring. So if you were making two different projects, you could use that paper for that and then have another ring, because it's the, medium, it kind of be like the medium size. Yeah, so there you can see what that looks like, and you just have lots of options when you use these circles, and then you have the solids you can use for something else. So all right, we have our pieces there, so you can see what all it looks like. And then here's that Cozy Christmas paper pad. There's 4 of each sheet. I'm going to pick out this one right here that has that dark snowflake background, but I wanted you to see all the other options in there. And then here's what the back side looks like. I love that there's a lot of choices in there, like pretty things, some dark moody backgrounds, some lighter ones, just really cool. All right, for the base of my snow globe today, I'm going to use this holographic paper, and I'm going to die cut the base, and it is so shiny and reflective. Now, what I love about this is that you can set your snow globe right into the base, so it really looks like a snow globe. I'm not going to lie, I totally messed this part of my snow globe up. I didn't quite get it how I wanted to, but I want to make sure that you see that part where you can stick the snow globe down into the base. My snow globe is going to have a lot of dimension because it's going to be a shaker and it's going to be a light up card. So here I'm just playing with the layers, and I really realized that it would be better to die cut these pieces from a circle. So use the same circle and then die cut them out. But I will end up using these pieces even if I did kind of mess it up. So here I was like, oh, let me just cut another little hill. I'll fill in the bottom. So that could work as well, but I will fix it. Don't worry. I'll come back to it. I'll get smart here in a minute. Okay, so for the scene, I am going to also have the little reindeer in there. I thought that was really cute. So I'm just playing with all the things and kind of getting them lined up how I'm going to want it to go for my shaker. And then I die cut the largest circle die from a piece of acetate, and I'm going to glue that to the back of this ring to create the front of my snow globe and like the window for my shaker. And then I'll use some thin foam strips to go all the way around that, because we need something to raise it up and we need something to really encapsulate the shaker bits. So I'll do that, and these thinner ones, they curve really well and of course fit perfectly onto this ring. So there we have it. And then for my shaker bits, I'm just going to grab some from my stash that are kind of fun. I like a mix nowadays, but you could use all snowflakes in there if you want. But I really like adding some smaller things and then things that kind of coordinate with the theme. And this one's a snow globe, so I liked these confetti bits that are iridescent and not just the flat white clay snowflakes. Yeah, and these I've been dying to use. These came out with the Trinity Stamp Space release, and they're like little orbs, like they're completely round, but they're kind of big. And so I actually didn't have enough height on my shaker for them. Now here I'm putting in some shaker pop beads. So those are really small. They're going to roll around really good. So to give my shaker a little bit more height, I cut a couple more rings from those two largest circle dies, and I used some lightweight chipboard. So I had to put down a couple layers of that just to add a little bit more height to my ring, because those little shaker orbs that I used were a little bit too large, and that worked out great. So I put another window sheet on the back of this because I want to be able to see through this, and we're going to see through to my light up scene. So that was really important. All right, so next I am going to add on the little like scene pieces, but I think here is where I realized I needed to cut a circle and then use that to cut the pieces for my scene. Yeah. And then I have that bottom part that's going to fill in the, shaker, the globe itself. So there I am cutting it away, and I actually use the same circle for both pieces. So the hill from one side of the circle and the little cabin and tree from the other side of the circle. So I thought I could easily use an easy light to light this card up, because the cabin could light up. We could have a little star on top of the tree, like maybe the people who live in the cabin have decorated this tree that's in their front yard. And then the deer I'm going to turn into a reindeer and have his nose light up. So I'm putting that hill on the outside of the circle, and here's where I realized that one of my like lightweight chipboard pieces had kind of scooted, and so I just trimmed a little bit of that off so it wasn't visible. And there we have it. There's my shaker. It's looking cute, and I like that the snow is going to hide the shaker bits a little bit. Yeah, okay, so now I am creating the part that's going to go behind the shaker. So I'm actually putting the glue on the front side, but just down a little bit from my actual scene so that the glue does not show. And then I can just lay this on top of that, make sure that it, kind of fits where I want it to go, and the scene works. Then I press down to pick that up. So there's my little scene, there's my little shakers. It's coming together really well. All right, so I wanted somewhere for my snow globe to sit, so I used that border die that creates the snowy hill and cut that, and then my base of my snow globe can sit down into that. Now remember, you're going to tuck your snow globe circle into the base. Well, mine is super fat because it's a shaker. So, for my star on my tree, I used the Easy Wonder add-on die, Easy Wonder add-on die number 3, and I die cut a little tiny gold star. And that was the star I had for the top of the Christmas tree. So I stuck that down, and then I was going to use there's circles in this die also. It ended up being a tiny bit too big. I had to go find another circle actually that was a tiny bit smaller, and that's what I ended up using for the nose. That one just looks too big, but it's kind of the same concept. There's the smaller one. So now I've got all my bits that can light up, but I wanted the house to have like window panes. So I took a piece of vellum and glued that on the back of the house, and then I'm going to color that vellum yellow so we kind of get that warm glow look from behind the windows. And then for the door, I'm just going to color that brown. I wanted it a little bit like darker, like an actual door. So loving how this is turning out. I'm going to go ahead and start putting things down onto the card. So I'm going to start with that snowy hill. One side is a little bit long, so I'll go ahead and trim that off and make sure it's all straight before I do that. And what I really wish I would have done, so right here I'm going to snip this piece off. I thought this would help it look like my snow globe is sitting on the base, right? But what I needed to do is attach the base to the front of my snow globe and then add foam squares to the back of it. That's what I wish I would have done. So it really was the same height as the snow globe itself, but it all works out in the end. You know that it's a snow globe, but I really like the feature of this die set where you can have it tucked in there. I love that. Now, just because this die set is called shaker, it doesn't mean that it has to be a shaker. You can totally make this as something different. Okay, so here I'm just making like a template so I know where to poke the holes for my lights. So that one that I ended up not using because the bottom of it was straight and not rounded, that piece right there, that's what I used as my template. And then I also had cut a reindeer that was a little bit too dark, so that's what I used for my template for the reindeer. So now I poked a hole at the top of the tree, the tip of the nose, and in the windows. And then I'm going to bring in my easy lights, and I'll have 3 lights, which is how this light pack comes, and I can light up those 3 spots. So these are lights by Pear Blossom Press if you're not familiar, and they make all different kinds of lights for lighting up your cards. And they are super easy. Pretty much slide the battery in, put the lights in place, and you're ready to go. So this happens to be the easy light. It's got 3 little lights at the end of these wires. The light is the yellow part. So you want to put that face down into the hole and tape it in place, just like I'm doing right here. So I have to mess with it a little bit. The holes on my card are quite small. So the light on this isn't going to like light up the whole card. I really just want it to light up this teeny tiny part of the snow globe scene. So yeah, I'm taping those in place with some low tack tape, and then we just need to tape the wires down, put the battery pack where we want it, and look, it's ready to go. So now I'm testing it out. Like, let me make sure that it's going to line up with where I want it to line up. And it did. It worked out good. So that's how I did that. And now I'm ready for my sentiment. So there is a coordinating stamp set to go with the snow globe, and that has several holiday sentiments that you can fit onto a die that will cut them out and stick them onto the snow globe. They're even curved to fit the shape, which I love. It's so good. But you could use these sentiments for lots of other things as well. So I'm going to emboss this with white powder so it really pops off my card. I tried to pick this dark kind of burgundy color red cardstock for this because it kind of matches my background paper. So there's the die. It's going to cut this out, and like I said, it'll cut out a lot of the sentiments in that stamp set. Some of them are just like rounded and you can use for lots of other things. So there's my sentiment for my snow globe. I am going to pop this up. I had just this like scrap of foam tape, so I stuck that down right there. And then for my like button, I wanted to have a snowflake. So I die cut this out. I'm going to stick this towards the bottom there, and it'll be just like a decorative element at the bottom of my card. And then I can put the word push in the center of this snowflake, which I'll do separately. But I thought that looked kind of decorative and fun. Plus I love snowflake dies. So I'm using this stamp set from Pear Blossom Press that has all the interactive words that you need for your light up cards. And so it's nice and small. I can hide it right on top of that snowflake. And that is where my button will go. So when the recipient gets this card, they'll know to push it right there. So cute with the little snowflake. I could see cutting a bunch of these and making my own background because I love making my own background. So now I know where the button needs to go. I'm going to line that up, and then I can just tape all the things into place that are the light up things. So that wire, you can just kind of twist it around, lay it flat, lay it in place. And then you need some double thick foam tape to fill up those areas. So I'm just going to put a little bit of glue on the back of that scene, my light up scene, but avoiding the areas where the lights are going to go, and around the outer rim of my snow globe. And then I can set that in place, scoot it around because I use glue to make sure that my star, my reindeer nose, and my windows are lined up where they're supposed to be with the light up parts of the card. There it is. Okay, that's really fun. I love it. I love how this turned out. I like that this globe comes with the little scene pieces. However, you really can use this snow globe as with anything you already have. You know, there's so many things you can put in a snow globe that they don't even have to be Christmas. Lynn has made some that was like a summertime theme with a gnome surfing, I think. It was a summer gnome. It was really cute, and I thought it was a clever idea. So if you want more ideas with this die set, make sure you check out the playlist in the description box below, and you can see lots more ways to use this because there's so many. Right, there's also the smaller snow globe, and you can use both of these circles to make an ornament. There's a die that you can put at the top of these to give them that ornament look. It's just so many cute things. So I'm just embellishing this to finish off the card with some enamel dots that were also sent to me with the cozy Christmas paper. And I like this color combination. It's very classic Christmas. And, you know, here I go, getting my Christmas stuff ready. I love it. Now I have a card ready to go. All right, so as far as the ephemera goes for this kit, there's a lot of pretty things in here that are very classic, traditional Christmas. And I thought these would be great things to use on the inside of my card, so I have a little bit of fun going on the inside of the card as well as the outside. And I love that there was even a snow globe in that set, and there's some fun little like people in this. That is really cute. The snowman I loved. So as I go through the ephemera, I kind of like, oh, I'm going to set the ones I like up top that I might like to use on the inside of this card, and then I can pare it down from there. But there's so many, like if you like ephemera, there's so much in here you could use for making a card itself. Like if you need a last minute card, they're also great for tags. If you want to make your own Christmas tags, that would be a really fast way to make tags is with the ephemera. I used a couple scraps of that same pattern paper that I used on the outside of the card on the inside, and I'll just add some of these ephemera pieces there, like this little branch coming in with the ornaments I thought was really cute. And then on the other side, I'm going to do the same thing. Another strip of that pattern paper. Both of these are 1 inch wide, and it just kind of frames your card, and then you could just write on both sides of the card. I think that would be really cute. And then I have the little cup of cocoa. I love hot cocoa at Christmas time. I always have a hot cocoa bar, so I thought that one was really fun. So there is my card with the Ultimate Snow Globe Shaker die set, now available in the Not Too Shabby shop. So be sure to check it out. I will link it for you in the description box below. If you're in the need for pattern paper for ephemera, be sure to check Not Too Shabby out. They have like a paper pad of the month club you can join and get 2 6x6 paper pads every month. It's very cool. I've done it before. Okay, so there is my video for the Ultimate Snow Globe Shaker. I can't wait to hear what you guys think of this die set. So leave me a comment below and let me know your thoughts. And I will see you all again very soon with another video. Happy stamping. Bye.